Hey, everybody, welcome to bonus stuff. We just got finished reviewing the end of Shogun, so go check that out. So, speaking of Shogun, I saw that Collider had done an article and they ranked the 10 best Shogun characters ranked. So, we're going to check this out. But before, they give it a 7 out of 10.
Wow, that's low.
A little low, right?
Low?
It's interesting.
So number 10, Lord Ishido, he's the main antagonist. I don't like him at all. He's just not much of a character. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he's kind of, not that I say he's weak, but I mean, he's just not super impressive.
I feel like he's probably the least interesting of all of the regions, honestly.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy with leprosy, oh my god.
Yeah, we never talked about that guy, but yeah, he was crazy looking. I don't think I'd even put him on the list, but let's see what else they have. So number 9 is
really? He's that low?
Yeah, I feel like it'd be higher than this.
Yeah, that's too low for me too. So this is Mirko's husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought his character was actually kind of complex, and he had he was dealing with a lot of stuff, and then he has this like heroic send off at one episode, and then he appears again.
Yeah.
So, so let's keep going. Number 8, Bosco Rodriguez.
Yeah, he kind of disappeared. He's actually in the book a lot more.
Yeah, he's just like in 2 episodes, right? Like the first 2. He was my favorite part of the first episode.
English.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he belongs on this list, though.
No.
10 episodes he's in 2. He should be. Yeah, no. Don't think so.
So it's number 7. Oh, this guy's really high.
Higher than who made this list?
I would put him at maybe 10. I mean, I really like his character.
Yeah, it's
like, especially toward the ends, but not higher than the husband.
No, not at all. Not even close to higher than the husband.
Yeah,
he's not. He's like there at the end.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. He's a background character until you realize, oh, you were more than you were. And okay, bye.
You're a spy.
I don't know about that, man.
Crazy. I don't think I'd have him on the list either. Number 6, Father Martin Alvido.
Not this high.
Not this high. Yeah,
he was an interesting character. I liked his kind of dynamic of he seemed like the only one that was. I mean,
he wanted peace. Yeah,
he actually wanted peace.
Like,
yeah,
we didn't talk about it during our review, but I liked whenever he's going to look at the land Toranaga gave him, and people literally like, who are the neighbors? Oh, they run the tea house, like
the courtesy,
the pillow factory.
He was like so happy and finally succeeded, and then he's just like, oh no. Like, well, they can just go from one door to the next.
All right, number 5. Fuji, so she's a good character. I don't know if I'd have her this high.
I'd have her like the lower 3 of 10, so like 10.
Yeah, number 7 or
she's probably my top 3 in the book. I liked her in this a lot, especially toward the end, but I don't think they used her quite as much as they should have.
Yeah. Number 4. So the guy we always forget his name and how to pronounce it. Kashigi Yabushigi? I don't know. So this guy, I think, definitely belongs
top 3.
Yeah, no, maybe 4 is really good for him. I think this is the one they actually nailed. What do you guys think?
Yeah, top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think who would be in my top 3.
Well, we're gonna find out.
He might be top 3 for me.
Okay, Jared.
Yeah, I'd probably
change my mind.
I'd probably put him at 4.
Yeah, I think that fits.
I think that's a good spot.
Yeah. So number 3 is John Blackthorne.
Vanilla Man himself.
Yeah, he's a good character. Because he's always like there to jump in and like save the day. He wants to like do good. It's just that he's not really allowed to. He's very constrained by his position.
I feel like he'd be 5 for me if we were ranking
Some-
it.
Really?
Yeah.
Something that's very interesting about Blackthorn is that he's he is very like he's kind of like that impulsive like Westerner, like he wants to jump into something where he thinks something's wrong or unjust, but he's smart enough to know like, nope, that's not how they do things here. Like I need to obey their rules because like in the first episode they see that guy get beheaded for nothing, and so that kind of sets the tone of like, oh,
And his poor
like-
gardener that died for the bird.
I know.
Oh yeah.
We forgot to
We did forget to talk about that. Dang.
Yeah, that was
sad.
man.
And
And he kind of blows up on them.
He
He's like,
goes
"You
nuts."
guys, stupid rules, and you guys care more about rules than life." And yeah, that was a good thing. Number 2, Mariko. I might
Yeah,
have her at number 1 actually.
Really?
I think too.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
So it'd definitely be Tornaga's number 1 on this list, obviously. Him, her, the husband, the fisherman. Is that it? Tornaga, her, husband, fisherman. Yeah, then 5 would be Blackthorn, I think, for me. So that'd be top 5 for me.
So yeah, this scene that they're showing, that's probably my favorite
Oh
scene
my
of the whole
gosh.
series.
That's so
Good scene.
good.
Yeah, so she gets all the dramatic weight. But she's also the low point of the series on those ones where they're trying to this little love triangle that goes on.
It's
I
so
really
interesting.
enjoy that.
It's interesting too because I had earlier this year they had the Godzilla show, and that was the first time I had ever seen this actress in anything, and I was like, oh, like she's fine, she's beautiful, but it's just like it's a Godzilla show, dialogue's not crazy. Then you get this, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, your acting chops are way better than I thought they were. Holy cow! Like when given the right material, it's insane.
So no surprise, Toranaga number 1. I don't know if he'd be my number 1. Like I said, I probably have Miracle, but
I think I'm
it's
probably
got to be
have
like
it at
number
1.
2.
I'd probably have a 1. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd have him my 1, especially on the last episode.
Yeah, that
He's
adds
a-
so much to it.
He's a very frustrating character because if you think about it, he gets pretty much all his close friends killed.
Yeah, he's a strange man.
And the whole time he's talking about, I don't want bloodshed, I don't want war, and
but that was part of
everyone-
it, Joe.
and
is
he
that
gets everyone killed.
I know, but that was part of it, though. Is that like even like his like admission? He's like, it's like, yep, I wanted the shogunate no matter what. That's
Well,
what I
also,
wanted.
Going
He's
by
like,
the
I
story and his vision of the future, he technically did. If his plan went the way he would, stop the war, basically. Like the
Yeah.
few would have died and the many would have survived because they would have given in. So
Yeah, he
it's hard to argue.
sacrificed all his like loved ones and friends. Yeah, that's a little hard for me. I don't.
It's crazy. So
Yeah.
where would your top 5 be, Joseph, of characters?
Oh man, so I definitely. Oh, you know who's not on this list that I would have on the list is Toranaga's friend, the old guy who.
Yeah,
From
it's like
Seppuku.
get the dude from Base Motel off this list. He doesn't belong here. Like I don't know why
Yeah.
that man is on this list. Fun
Is
character
anyone-
for 2 episodes, then bye.
Is anyone else missing?
The gardener.
Toranaga's son. I thought his
Tornaga's
character
son,
was
I thought
all
it was
right.
very interesting. Even the brother, I feel like, would be better on
I
this
like-
list than
Yeah,
the hidden samurai guy.
I like the fisherman's nephew.
He
was
was
really
also.
cool.
I
Interesting.
loved the scene. We didn't even like touch on too much of him. Whenever, like, basically, like, he rats out his uncle. He's the one who basically brings the Tornaga of like, hey, this dude just betrayed all of us. It's like,
Yeah,
and then he ends up thanking him on the way to his death. It's like that is just wild, man.
like Jared said, the lady, Obi two or whatever.
Yeah, why is she on this
her
list?
character. Yeah, where is she on this list? She's pretty important, and they have a backstory for her. So yeah, mine would probably be Miracle number 1, Toranaga number 2. Probably the husband at number 3.
It's difficult.
Yeah. Oh, and then him. He's good too. So I like him at 4.
I think he might have been bumped up to 3 for me. I think it would be Tornaga, her, the fisherman, Blackthorn, then the husband, or the husband, then Blackthorn. I don't know which one would go first.
Yeah, I think Blackthorn might go to 5.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Oh man, shout out to Fuji for having an awesome moment though with the pistol That was awesome.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He's like, give me the gun. She's like, no.
Oh yeah, that was a good scene. Yeah. Yeah. So Collider, man. What happened there?
Lost their minds there. A little crazy. Did they watch the show?
They gave it a 7, Michael. A 7.
That's too low.
They're probably one of those ones that got really sad about the ending not being a giant war.
They wanted the action.
I've heard a lot of people have that complaint, like, oh, there wasn't a satisfactory. God dang it. There wasn't a really good fight scene at the end. I'm like, it's not about the fight scenes. It's about, the politics of it all. That's the Shogun is, a politician. So
I mean, I guess I've seen, like, if I'm someone who doesn't know anything about the book or the story it's based on, I could see someone being kind of disappointed that there was no actual battle.
Yeah, or even like
it
a
seems
real
like
conclusion, honestly. But
yeah, I agree. So I could see why some people would be like, the ending was kind of disappointing. But what else we had this week was the premiere of the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. So we kind of already talked about this earlier, but what did you, Michael and Thomas, think about this trailer?
we did.
Me and Jared.
Oh,
trying to remember. I'm just trying to distinguish the two trailers in my mind right now because they had the first like teaser one trailer thing and then the main one.
So this one is kind of like Wolverine's at the bar.
Yeah.
And Deadpool walks in. It's like, do we need to team up?
Deadpool makes his jokes. I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm very, very intrigued on because I saw a quote today from the director or someone a part of it. There's like, you need no homework for this movie for MCU. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch any of them. I was like, that's an interesting take to make. And like, I'm just curious what this leads into because it's obviously going to make some sort of big change for the hope save the MCU.
I don't know about that, man. After seeing this trailer, it just seems like a Fox.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. This just seems like another Deadpool where we're just gonna have a bunch of laughs and see some goofy action. Like even he says like big slow-mo action battle in the end. He's like, making the joke to themselves. So I don't know. Very, very interested in this. This is only what 2 months away, 2 months away. What is this? May, June?
Month away.
June, I think.
Okay.
Oh, is it June?
Basically, still a month though. May's next week, so. Very interested in this for sure. I'm excited. I love it's like all the times that people have been like, put him in the yellow suit, and then you see it's like it actually looks really freaking cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
He looks great in the yellow suit. I'm like, dang. So I'm interested to see also if there's going to be there's been the rumors of multi-universe Wolverines because everyone's saying like, oh, Daniel Radcliffe's supposed to be in like
Henry Cavill
supposed
to be one.
Supposed to be on. What I don't know. This movie's hard to put down. Will it be a massive disappointment? That would be very surprising.
Yeah,
but I don't know if it's going to be as big as everyone's expecting it to be. So I don't know if people are tooting too much horns for this. You know what I'm saying?
After the first trailer, I was like,
July.
So
wow.
Longer.
2 months. My
July.
Bad.
Dang.
My bad.
I don't think it's going to save the MCU. I think it's just going to be. It's kind of like Guardians 3.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, that was good, but time to say goodbye to the MCU, And I don't think Deadpool's gonna like go around killing MCU characters or stuff like that. So
Funny.
Okay. So the big controversy this week was so there's been a lot of chat about Stellar Blade, right? It's like one of the everyone's loving it, everyone's kind of enjoying it, but then there's people who's not. There's basically like well, the game's fun, but I wish it wasn't this like cheesecakey and fan servicey. So it all like culminated to Sony actually censoring one of the outfits. And it's crazy because it's not even like the real revealing one that everyone's been like playing with. It's just like this bathing suit one. So they kind of like hit her cleavage and made her, made it a little more cover up. It's just weird that Sony would do this because like I'm playing Like a Dragon and the bathing suits you can get on there are like way more revealing than what they had on here.
Are you thinking about like Dead or Alive games? They've always had the beach volleyball mode that have been extreme. And you're like, oh my gosh.
So it's just like Sony just caving to like all the people saying that this is like, but it's weird because Sony, like people pointing out, well, you have like full blown sex scenes in like The Last of Us 2, and there's a lot of worse stuff on there, but you censor this, so it just feels like they kind of bow down to
just the
peer
loud
pressure.
mouth.
Yeah.
But it's also like the game has a rating. It has a rating. Play it if you're old enough and mature enough. If you can't, don't look at it. If you don't want to, don't look at it. It's like, I don't know. Vote with your wallet.
Yep. And it's doing good.
I'm glad that it's doing good.
It looks super fun. I need to do the demo to see if it's like kind of my taste of combat, but yeah, I need to download that.
Yeah, it was just funny because the reviews are like, well, it's fun. It's just I don't like all the cheesecake.
Jill, so did you see the drinker talk about female characters in video games lately? And he mentioned Stellar Blade. He's like, it was a good video. He just mentions how like all like female characters now are like very masculine.
Yeah.
And then we finally have this one that's not. It's very feminine, and people are freaking out like in a negative way. And he's like, "Why?" It's like,
it's weird.
Women would want this. Not, I don't know who this is for.
That poor Mary Jane model or whatever.
Oh man,
for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
everybody's just like,
well, that happened with Outlaws too. It's like the Outlaws model is like really attractive, but then when they put her in the
game,
just...
I saw that. I was like, holy crap, she is.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? And then like have you seen like Lara Croft? Like how they're making her more like buff, and then and then I think they went back and censored some stuff. Oh, because there's in the old game, so that company re-released like all the old games, kind of remastered them, and it's just like there's posters of her as a pinup, and the company like went in and took those down, and it's like, why? It's just, I mean, it's old pixel art. It's not like it's weird that they gaming is like escapism, right? So we want, even for guys, we don't play scrawny dudes, we play big buff dudes when we're playing. So it's just like weird that they're shaming like beautiful people and stuff like that.
It's really frustrating because all Instagram or anything else is it's just in your face like nonstop. But like, why not in video games? Why is that the line that they don't want to cross? Or like, or
even movies, like they point out like Black Widow is a lot more revealing in Iron Man 2 than she is when she gets all the way to Endgame.
I feel like it's just because Game of Thrones, because where the heck games have always been equated to like kids. Like you think, Grand Theft Auto kids are playing that, they're gonna be grow up violent. Like it's just tales been told since games are coming out.
Well, talking about censorship, I don't know if you guys saw this.
You've been censored.
The Australian Prime Minister wants to censor the world for us. So he thinks that social media has just gone out of hand. So it's up to the Australians to censor it.
Imagine Australians become the next like evil power country. Like,
didn't see that coming.
Do you hear the war didgeridoos?
They're riding giant spiders into battle. Oh God.
This country started by a bunch of convicts has turned evil.
Oh, I did. Okay. One of the videos I watched, they're playing, is it Hold Fast? It's like that old school, like Napoleonic era video game. And one of the guys, they're all like role playing as like British officers, because a lot of them are British. But they're like, oh, yes, just load the rifles. Yes. And one of the guys is Australian. And he's like, all right. He's like, oh, an Australian. Just tell me, what's your sentence? All right. Sorry. I know it's stupid, but it made me chuckle.
Yeah, real fast.
I like this one dude. It's just like, I gotta save the world from just depravity.
To me to fix these children who look at TikTok all day.
Speaking of that, yeah,
true.
And then, so I know no one here probably watches The Simpsons. I don't watch The Simpsons, but someone on The Simpsons actually died. One of the characters it's only like that. Yeah, from the very first episodes, he's been there. So Larry the Barfly has died.
Poor one.
About time.
I think it's only like the 9th time or something that someone on some
Wow.
character on the Simpsons has died. So
So there's
Pretty
like,
big.
I can't do the voice anymore. Please kill my character off.
That's how you get out of it. Just kill my character, please.
Oh man. Okay. So Michael is not taking us to Star Trek land this time,
Ran out of
sadly.
fuel.
So do you want to tell us what else you did?
It's not Star Wars.
I don't know what it runs on. The souls.
Crystals.
The souls of shirtless men. No, the only other thing I did, because we had Shogun to watch throughout the whole week, because I was way behind. I just had a few episodes of Dragon Ball Super that I've continued on. Last we left off, we were mid or beginning of the tournament arc in space with the Beeruses and his brother, and they're like, hey, I want Earth. Your Earth is better than my Earth. My Earth is toasted. I left in the oven too long, and so they're like, hey, well, battle, and our best warriors will fight, and then whoever wins, you can have my giant planet-sized Dragon Balls, because bigger is better. And then, or if I win, we swap Earths. So that whole fight happens, and finally, I will say this because it's kind of a cheap play for them to do this, because tournaments are just the bread and butter of Dragon Ball. They're always like, you're always gonna be interested no matter if it's bad or not. And I don't think this tournament's very good, honestly. I did very, very much enjoy. I think it was the first good fight in Super was with Vegeta and the other Saiyan, the like Toon Saiyan is what I'm gonna call him, because it looks like Toon Link.
Oh yeah.
That was the first time we're not just getting like flying fists doing this. This time we're that, or like just blinking in the sky, whatever. Like, it was actually a good fight. The animation was very, very good. Like, character was super cool, and we kind of saw a different, like I said last time, how none of the characters have had any growth. There hasn't been any change with anyone. We actually saw something Vegeta that we haven't seen before, which I really, really enjoyed, was him like kind of instructing. He kind of surprisingly kind of took this guy under his wing. And you see what's kind of coming, although in Super they love for everyone to play dumb. Like, this was literally a line Yamcha said. It's like, why are you writing this? We've been with you for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z GT, and now Super episodes. We know what's going on. But Yamcha goes, has Vegeta gone back to the dark side? You're like, oh my God. So
someone Cyberman that guy.
You got to remember, Yamcha has a history with Vegeta.
Yamcha's also an idiot,
Vegeta took his woman.
But even like Piccolo and all them are like, what? In Bulma, it's like, no, Vegeta. So very, very stupid. I did enjoy that fight. The rest of the fights in it were just kind of like, hey, we're gonna have this big Winnie the Pooh bear fight, and you have his little special bits, and then a robot, and we just have these little. It was just kind of like gimmicky fights more than like actual interest. And then we get the last fight, and just something in Super that's annoying me so much. Hattie. Sorry, no more. She's just moving next to me. How did you try? Oh my God, she is hitting a light over there and it's flickering. Anyway,
the money.
You made her mad.
So we get to the last fight with Hit. He's this assassin, the great assassin from the other universe. Very interesting character, very interesting ability. You can do a little time skip. But it's like, instead of having any creativity, because we're just recasting old ideas, they brought back Frieza, for heaven's sakes. Instead of having any creativity with the fight, there's like, oh, I just made my ability better, Goku. Now what? Because Goku's like reading his punches and stuff like that. And it just became this absurd thing of, I am now 10 times better than I was when the fight started. So I don't know. I didn't like the culmination of how the fight went. I liked the two characters and their interaction and everything. But apart from that, we get out of that. Then, supreme uber goober bug face of the universe comes up, and Beerus freak out. And they're like, oh my God, that's the god of everything. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I like the fight. He's like, we should have a fight with all the universes and it'd be grand. And Goku's like, hell yeah. And so they get excited to plan that. Everyone goes back home. So as we're saying, or as I've said already, that we had Frieza, we had fights that aren't creative. What do we do next? We have a different scene from a different time where we get future Trunks once again, and he's going around with a woman that we know the name of, and you're like, what? And you're like, Bulma's there, what? But it's just like a rehash of Cell, and I'm like, because okay, so we're leading into the character Goku Black. That's where I am now. Goku and Goku Black just had their first fight. and it's just like I knew that this character existed, but I didn't know how he came into being or all of it. And it's just like to rehash the future Trunks thing. You can't think of any other way to do this than to rehash the future Trunks thing. It's like, what are we doing? I don't know anything about the character Goku Black, so don't say like who he is, what he is, or anything. I know nothing. So I'm interested. I'm very, very interested in that. And I will say that we finally got to like him and Goku's fight scene was great. I loved it. We had some clever movements, some actual like visual style to it, and yeah, just actual fighting. It's not just like so I'm very much showing that the art style has improved drastically since this. It feels like Super's finally taking itself seriously. I'll say that. So thoughts on it so far? The idea of Trunks coming back, very, very stupid and annoying, but I love where we're headed with Goku Black because I'm very intrigued. And even like Beerus is, I like how Beerus and Whis are just side characters. They're just on a sipping pina colada. It's like, does he have a time ring on? You're like, oh, but very intrigued by it. That's where we are in Super.
I also don't like how they changed the color swapped him from like purple to blue future Trunks. Because everything like he's all blue now. It's like
it's like me and Mom was blue hair. Like what? No, you had purple hair because we all saw the series. I do
messed up, okay?
I do love the existential crisis poor young Trunks goes through. He's just like,
oh yeah,
what is happening? He's so confused, the poor kid. But no, so that's where I am so far.
He is a very confused character, as we find out from his love life.
I know. He's falling and apparently fallen for got to be 50-year-old woman.
Dude, she's old.
Yeah, she's old.
I don't remember how they became young again. Do you guys do you remember?
Yeah, that happened on the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
The Battle of the Gods movie.
Yeah,
that's weird. It wasn't in the show.
Yeah, they got the Dragon Balls and they turned them young.
She's from the Red Ribbon Army, right?
Yeah, very early in the series.
Pilaf's
and they get turned
side character.
Yeah, so that's where I'm in Dragon Ball Super. I am at episode. I'm halfway through episode 50 before we started this, and Goku Black just got sucked back into his time warp other world. And yeah,
Shu is an adorable little fox man, though.
He is an adorable little fox man. He's like, Shu, you go get him. Like, what? You saw it? And he's like,
no.
That was perfect, Michael.
I've been trying. I might try it next time. I've been working on a Beerus impersonation while I'm watching this. We'll see how it goes.
Shu was right on.
Yeah. The Beerus one was close the other day, and I tried it before this, and it was terrible. So I need to.
We were talking Dragon Ball at work, and a coworker was like, I hate First Form Cell, and I was like, "How dare you?"
What?
I love First Form Cell. I love
Cell.
his. I love his.
Second is great.
She was like, "Oh, he's got like an old smoker lady's voice." That's the best part. I told her. I was like, "I love that voice."
He's so creepy when he first shows up.
Very creepy.
He is creepy.
Very creepy. God, Cell. So
man, that was good. That was a good episode, man. With him and Piccolo, and Piccolo's trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh, I do have to say, Piccolo recounting to Goku and Chi-Chi the steps of watching Pan might be one of my favorite things I've seen. It's like I love this because of this and that, and I don't do this, and he's like walking away. He's like, "Wait, there's one more thing." He goes back.
I love Grandpa adorable. Piccolo. He is so good.
They really lean into him actually being the good dad.
It was lovely.
All right. You guys want to go, or should we go back to House of the Dragon?
Do your dragon crap.
All right.
Sir Christian.
Episode 10. No Sir Christian this time, sadly, because we are with the Black Queen, and we get to see everything from her side of the coming conflict. So we open up on a table map. And the young prince is looking at it, and he is like, the Sea King is sick, and I do not want to be the Sea King. And he's like, I'm not perfect like you, Mom. And she's like, I am not perfect, which we all know. And then she gets the news from her, what is it? It's her aunt. And she gets the news that the king is dead. And she's like, I could have started the war, but it's not my place to start that war, man. I could have just said, flame on, dragon, and everyone would be dead. Which is probably what she should have done, but she dropped the ball. The baby's coming. So the queen is going to have she's not queen yet, but she's gonna have another baby.
Oh my god.
She's got a lot of kids, man. And she tells someone that you are my heir. So she's giving birth. Okay, we got another nasty birth scene, blood going everywhere. The kid coming out, we get to see it. Meanwhile, Damon's giving orders to everyone. He's basically loyalty or death. He tells like these two knights, gives them a choice: are you gonna be loyal to us, or I'll just kill you now? Meanwhile, she's giving birth, and the handmaidens are like, "Let us help you." The nurses and stuff are like, "Let us help you, man. You're nuts." And she's like, "No." And so she gives birth, but it was too early, right? It was coming too early because of all the stress and stuff like that, and so it doesn't make it. So we get another funeral for the baby, and at this, a knight comes up, and he's got a crown, and they name her queen, and Damon puts the crown on her. So they like the table map. So they got to figure out who's on whose side. What houses are going to be on our side, and they're like, "Who cares? We got dragons." um, and they're like, "We got more dragons than them, so we're obviously going to win this." The hand arrives. This was a very cool shot for some reason. He arrives like the sun's like going down. It just looks very cool. So he like arrives, and he tells them what's what, and like tells them that they're not, they think the new king should rule. And the queen responds, "I am queen, and you are a bunch of traitors." And the hand says, "Aegon offers you some terms. We'll give you this crappy sea kingdom if you want it, and we will, rule everything else." He's the rightful king. So the houses, they're going to consider this. And she's like, so they're considering what's going on, and she's like, considering stale oaths, she says. And then they talk about how the queen and the king's mom used to love each other. They used to have love for each other, and they kind of want her to remember that, so they'll keep the peace. And the queen's like, "I'll answer you guys on the morrow." Someone has a cool line where they say, "When dragons war, everything burns." So she doesn't want to go to war. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to rule a kingdom of ashes, he says. So she's trying to avoid war if she can do it. And then Damon starts whining. So she's like, "Everyone get out. I gotta talk to this whiny baby." And he like starts choking her because he's not a very great guy. He tells her that they gotta crush rebellion. And then she's like, they're talking, and she's like, the king never told you about the dream, huh?" And he's like, and this makes him feel even more like a baby, so he kind of goes and pouts outside. Meanwhile, the Sea King guy, he was sick. He's been ill, and he's talking to his wife, and she tells him, "You abandoned me for your adventures at seas." And he's like, "I was sad. I lost Corliss." And she's like, "We both lost him." And so they say, who's meeting? So the queen meets with, I'm trying to think who she's actually meeting. Oh, the Sea King. So he says he's sorry about the father. And hey, where's Damon? And she's like, he's doing his Damon things. So they're talking about the fight that's coming. You got too few allies. But then he's like, the sea snake sides with you. We're on your side. And she's like, "I got to know my allies before the war." So in their plan is to kind of surround the queen to make her surrender. So they got to send everyone out to the houses to get them on their side. And they're like, "Oh, let's send some ravens out." And then the sons are like, "Hey, dragons fly faster than ravens, guys, so send us out there. And she's all right, I'll send you kids. She sends her kids. She tells them no fighting's allowed. Damon, meanwhile, is singing a song to a dragon, putting that Barry White on for that dragon. So they go, so the first one is the young prince, and he's flying, and I forget what house he's going to, but he meets his
Baratheon.
house. Baratheon, okay. I've heard that name before. And he's got a message from the queen, and he's like, well, I just got a message from the king, and it's cousins over there, the cousin with the cool eye patches there.
Technically, the Baratheons are also cousin to the Targaryens.
Everyone's related, man. It's
To cousin pillowing.
royalty.
Oh,
The Baratheon guy's like, you come with empty hands. At least this guy is offering to marry one of my kids. And he's like, oh man, I failed. Mom's gonna be mad, so I got to get out of here. And the cousin's like, wait, you can't just leave. We got to give you an eye for an eye. I want your eye. He takes off his eye patch. He's got like this cool sapphire jewel in his eyeball. He's like, you take off your eye. But then the Baratheon's like, hey, no, don't fight in here. Take it outside, guys. And he's like, take him back to his dragon. It's raining outside. The kid is freaked out because the dragon's kind of like freaking out too. And there's like hints in the sky that something's up out there. So he gets on his dragon and he flies through the storm. And then he's attacked by the cousin, who's got a much bigger dragon than him. So that we get a dragon fight. And then he's chasing the kid, and the kid hides in the clouds, and he's like, where did it go? They're in this kind of valley thing, and then the kid's dragon shoots fire at the big dragon, and for some reason dragons don't listen to these kids at all because they don't respect them or something. So he's like, no, don't do it, man. And the big dragon just like takes a big old bite out of the little dragon, and that kid's dead. The queen gets the news, and I don't know why she's surprised. She sent a kid to do a man's job, but he's dead now. And she looks pissed. And that is the end of the first season of House of Dragon. And the second season starts June 16th. So we are close to it. And we will see who wins the greens versus the blacks. So still Team Green.
Dance
man.
of the Dragons.
Still Team Green.
You're a monster. You're a fucking monster.
Oh, what's so great about the Queen?
What's so great about the Greens?
Yeah. They got Sir Christian, man.
Besides Sir Cucks-a-lot over there.
Only other thing I did was I watched this really stupid movie called The Stranger. Anyone remember Quibi? No?
Oh.
So Quibi was this social media app thing where you get like real short episodes of
yeah.
Yeah, you get like real short episodes of series, and it died in like 2 months. 2 months it already folded. So I guess they put all these episodes together, and they made this movie called The Stranger on Hulu. It's got the hand guy. You remember his first name? From Valerian.
Is that the one where they would have like the advertisements for like on a video and be like, subscribe to Quibi to watch the rest of the 5-minute video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a not very good movie. It had very unnecessary CG for some reason, and a movie that didn't need CG. It was about this rideshare. She's an Uber, but they don't call it Uber, but I'm going to call it Uber. She picks up this guy at a mansion, and they're kind of talking and hitting off, but then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I killed that family in the mansion. And she's like, oh, no. So she starts running from this guy. And we find out that he's like a master hacker, and he can like hack into convenience store cameras and show them some guy's house, even though he's not on the web or whatever.
Did he have like 8 screens, 2 keyboards just going?
We don't really see him much because the only time we see him is like when he's chasing her. He always like shows up, and then so she meets this guy from the convenience store, and for some reason he helps her. But then we find out that she didn't falsely accuse. She did accuse a teacher of misdeeds, but no one believed her, so she took back her accusations. And then so no one believes her now because they all think she's just, calling wolf again. And this guy chases her throughout the movie, and it ends they're CG wolves. They're not wolves, they're coyotes, but they're gigantic coyotes, so they look like wolves. And they're like men eaters, and they hunt in a pack, which coyotes don't hunt in packs. It's just so stupid. And then at the end, she like throws her shoe. She's on a bridge, and she throws her shoe down. It's not a shoe. It's like the dog's leash. She's holding this stupid little dog the whole time, and then she throws like the leash, and it like hits the car. So remember, she's on this bridge, but then so he wrecks. But then, like 5 seconds later, she's down here. Like, did she jump? Did she jump off the bridge and land there or something? How did she get there?
She did one of those jumps from
special.
Citadel where they dropped that girl from like a 2-story building, and she's fine.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Tom is assuming that I remember anything about that show.
I remember everything, Michael. I can't get it out of my head.
So that it wasn't very good. I wouldn't recommend it at all.
At all.
Not
At
at
all.
all, man.
Not at all. Not even if you like bad movies like me. I mean, maybe if me and Jared were there laughing at it, we could probably got some humor out of it. But that's it. All right, that's all I did. Jared.
Okay. I'll start with movies that I have watched. So I first started off with Tree of Palm, which is an anime movie that came out mid 2000s. It's an adaptation of Pinocchio, but it's an anime version, so it's a lot more disturbing and bloody and sad.
Liza P.
Bloody sad.
It's very much like the Disney Pinocchio. It's a downer, and the whole time you're watching it, you're kind of depressed.
Just want to be a real boy.
He just wants to be a real boy. But this Pinocchio, he kills an animal, and he's just riddled with guilt afterwards. He's like, oh, I got blood on my hands. I just want to be a real boy. I didn't know I didn't know animals died when you swing swords at them.
Who would have known?
But it ends with him, because he's made of wood, it turns into a tree at the end. So he doesn't become a real boy, he becomes a tree. But it was a dude who worked on the director, he worked on Nausicaa and Akira. And this was his first movie that he directed. The visuals are great. It's just a downer. It's kind of sad. Turns into a tree. Just sad.
And turns into a tree.
And then me and Jonah went to go see Spy Family Code White.
Jerks.
It was a family movie. It was delightful.
Have you caught up on the series yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I can start watching that now. Sorry.
Just really delightful. It's set in this kind of northern European town, so it's snowing, and it's like Christmas, but it's like it's not Christmas time. But
it's like everything else. It is, but it's not that.
The whole movie is focused on desserts. I don't want to spoil anything, but the main thing is about a dessert, and then Anya just being Anya, so cute. So I love Anya.
Ooting, Jared?
She said ooting. I was like, Jonah, if she says ooting and there's a random Becky scene, I'll love this movie. And it both happened. And I was like,
dang. It didn't have Frankie, did it?
Yeah, it did. I had a scene with Frankie. And I was like, Joseph got his wish.
I don't like Frankie.
Really good. It's a really good movie. I felt on the new season it didn't really, because there's like this whole thing with Yor and Lloyd, if they actually like each other, the whole romance part. I feel like it wasn't in the second season as much, but in the movie they kind of touched on it. So I was like, oh, nice. Really good movie. And then let's go to YouTube.
YouTube.
So the whole reason I watched Tree of Palm was because of Steve M. His video on the darkest Pinocchio adaptation. So he talks about the movie, and he really just talks about like the director, like where he came from and stuff like that. But it got me interested in it, so I watched it. But just a downer, guys. Just real down. And then I watched Hollow Shy's video. He had a video called "The Most Unique Fighting Game," and he talks about Fighter's Destiny. If you remember that on the 64, I always remember seeing the cover at like Blockbuster or Hastings. I've never heard anyone talk about this game,
I don't
but
remember that.
it unlike other fighting games where it's just a health bar, this one is about a point system. So if you ring out or you get a point on the
That's cool.
on your opponent.
Oh yeah, I do remember that cover.
So that was a cool video. I've actually seen that game and actually finding out about it. And then I had a huge I don't know why, but I've been listening to a lot of Aphex Twins lately, and so I watched the guys like a lot of the songs on one album are creepy as heck. So I was like, I'm coming on to figure out what this guy's about. So the dude behind Aphex Twins is pretty interesting. He's very much that kind of guy that's like, I only make music to make music. I don't want to be famous or rich from it. I just love making music. The whole reason he started making music is old computers and like sounds that came from it. He's like, oh, that's interesting. And then he would just make his own kind of palettes of sounds from circuits he would make and stuff like that. His own like synthesizers. I never figured out why his songs are so creepy, except for his big hit, the "Come to Daddy" one. You know, that one with the music video with all the children with his face like I'm on them.
Mhm.
Apparently, he got like a letter from a fan, and it just said like, "I'm gonna eat your soul," and he was like, "The heck?" They made a song about it. But really interesting.
That was his actual reaction. The heck?
Yeah, he's like, "The heck is this about?"
I'll make a song.
Just a really interesting guy. I always thought he was like German because, of course, like techno. I was like, oh, he's probably German. He's a British guy. I was like, oh, dang, I was way off. But yeah, it was a good video. I've been really enjoying actually listening to full albums from him because he'll have these creepy songs or these really high energy like techno, and then these like super beautiful songs that you're like, dang, that's a nice song. But really cool. And then I hate VTubers. Do you know what that is, Michael? Where like people have like a seat.
I don't really know what it is.
Oh, the artificial person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where they don't want to show their face, so they have like a
It's just
Yeah,
like
an
a
anime girl.
Usually it's an anime girl talking
Yeah.
for him.
I hate that like with a passion, but this guy I started watching his VTuber persona is a little armadillo and it's cute. And I was like, he's not trying to get that whole like anime girl like fandom and stuff like that. He's just a cute little armadillo guy. His name's Swamp John.
Can't hate an armadillo. Come on.
And he had a video about the original JoJo anime because you know how there's the 2015 one, but there was a 1993 one, and he's talking about how it's the video is called "The Original JoJo Anime was a perplexing cinematic masterpiece." Because I always forget his name. The guy that did like Perfect Blue, Paprika.
Yeah.
Always forget his name, but God, it's just escaping me right now. But he worked on the original JoJo anime, and like the visuals are awesome, and like there's some cool stuff in it. Like I didn't really like the Stardust Crusader arc in JoJo because it's long and just like I don't want to go through all that. But this shorter like OVA looks awesome, and I might just go through that because I like Jotaro. He's a cool character, but I don't want to watch like 50 episodes of Jotaro, so I might just watch this.
Michael has to go back and watch the 94 Hunter.
Oh my god, the stupid boat part's even longer. It's like 15 episodes, and it's like, oh my god, just get to the freaking competition.
It's Satoshi Kon.
Satoshi Kon, yeah. Oh, I always forget that guy's name.
I know.
And then he had another couple videos about the 10 lowest ranking animes. He just goes through them, and some look fun, some look like a real chore to get through, and I've seen a few of them.
And then there's X.
No, it's not that far down. So I'm like, what the heck? How is that zero? I hate X, dude.
It's terrible.
And then last for YouTube, Nathan Rants. I don't know why I've been on this whole like rabbit hole of like YouTubers talking about Arthur and his parents, but he's talking about Arthur and how he has the worst parents ever, and he just shows examples, and you're like, man, his parents do suck. And then he had one about Lilo's teacher being the worst, because he always like backs up the bully little girl instead of Lilo, and he's like, I hate this guy, just hate him. But that's all I watched on YouTube. Music wise, the artists Justice came out with an album recently, and there are a few singles from it with Tame Impala, and there's one with Thundercat, and those songs on the album are awesome. I've only listened to the whole full album once, so I need to go through it a couple more times, but those singles are amazing. Amazing. And then video games, I beat Harold Halibut. I told Joseph, this is the only thing I'll say. I got more of a space adventure from this than Starfield. Like, I got more out of this than Starfield.
Carlos just busted the door. What'd you say?
We're gonna need a review from you pretty soon, Jared.
It wasn't too long. Honestly, if I just had a few more hours that weekend when I first started it, I could have finished it. But kind of want to get you guys to play it because the ending I kind of want to talk about.
What is it on?
Game Pass. Do you have Game Pass?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on. I think it's on everything, but like on Game Pass, you can just play it. But I'm pretty sure it's on everything. It's just an indie game. There's great music in it. It's like a lot of German like pop, and it's a really good game.
99 left balloons the whole time.
Du hast.
But that's all I did this time.
Sweet.
I'll actually check that out because I'm in the mood for an indie game.
Yeah.
An
Go ahead. Sorry.
An indie car game?
I guess.
Indiana Jones, the game?
I don't know how to react to that. Okay, I guess it's my turn.
No.
Nah, we're done.
It's been good seeing you guys.
Go play that indie car game.
Yeah. So I'll start off with some YouTube, I guess. I watched some EFAP, just a few random videos. They had one about Hassan Piker and just how he's like the worst person on planet Earth, which I kind of agree with. And it's just funny to hear them like take down all of his arguments because he calls them out for being like these like he just insults them. And then he was like, well, I've actually never seen any of their content. And they like pause the video like, what are you talking about? If you haven't seen any of our content, why are you just determined to drag us through the mud? And yeah, it's just
because being a YouTuber is hard, or a streamer is hard.
It's hard work, man.
Like you guys who in a warehouse don't understand how hard it is to be a YouTuber.
I like the Cinema Sins ones they do, like for the Joker one. That was good.
Yeah. Well, just in how they like pretty much like completely lambasted Chris Stuckman. They're like, dude, like,
oh yeah,
you had all of this this credibility with reviewers and even like filmmakers and stuff, and then you just decided to completely maybe just sell out, but just be a total coward about it. Like,
dude, wow. I unsubscribed because I was very turned off from that.
Like, I can't believe he said that. I was just like, that's not how filmmaking works. And you're saying like you're a filmmaker now. It's like, no, I don't want to listen to what you have to say anymore because you're not going to be honest. So
he even wears that like shirt. It's like I want to make films or something.
Yeah. Like, just because you have made a film doesn't make you like all knowing and or above criticism now. It's like, come on, man. But anyway, I do enjoy listening to them. Mahler's hilarious. I also like it when they go ahead.
I did like the Fallout one. That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Between him and Drinker,
yeah.
It's great because they're just so opinionated, but they don't really care if they hurt each other's feelings. They just go after each other. So
I like that end. I don't know if it was in that video, but there's one part where they make a point and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we've turned you, Mauler. We were right the whole time."
But yeah, they're very enjoyable to listen to. I like what I think it was Mueller is talking about it was kind of like a rebuttal to Hassan, because he's like, we're not really here to make points or whatever. We're just here to hang out. Like we just post us hanging out on Discord, and that really kind of hit with me because honestly, that's what we do here. That's what we've always been doing here. Like what Joseph said in our mission statement video, but like basically these are our conversations that we had at the pizza parlor. Now, granted, they're much shorter. I'm telling y'all right now, the 2-hour podcast that you're getting is much shorter than the pizza parlor conversation because those were going for like 6 hours.
From lunch to dinner.
From lunch to dinner. It was time to eat again. Yeah, the wood. Oh God, we need to do that. But no, anyway. But I really liked that. I don't want to say mission statement, but what he had to say about that because I really get that. And then Super Eye Patch Wolf had a new video about the bizarre world of fake video games. Very interesting, and I'm kind of interested in like kind of going down that rabbit hole. Me and Jared are also doing a creepypasta about one of those, so look out for that. I think that's all the YouTube I really had to.
Are you guys doing Polybius?
No.
Yeah.
We can. Do you want us to?
I don't think I want to know what that is. You're doing to participate.
We're doing it now. So then I watched The Good Shepherd, the one with Matt Damon, directed by Robert De Niro. It's about the founding of the CIA, and I remember watching it when I was younger, and like I don't really like this movie, and I decided to try it again, and I'm definitely sure I do not like this movie. Like it is so boring, so bloated. Okay, here's the weird part though, is that it's strangely dated to be an anti-George W. Bush movie. It's really weird because if you knew anything about like the political stuff back in 2004, 2005, it's all directed at basically them taking pot shots at the Bush family. And especially like the skull and bones stuff, and like even the ending was so stupid. Like Lee Pace, who they wasted in this movie, by the way.
How dare they?
He's like,
they killed him. No,
yeah. Well,
they wasted him.
He's talking to Matt Damon's character, and he's like, "I'm going to go before Congress. They're going to try to look at all of our secrets." And he goes like, "As if we'd let them." And he even says like, it's like people ask me why I don't say the CIA. He's like, do you put the word the before God? I'm just like, this is so freaking stupid. Like, oh my God. It's just, and they got Joe Pesci to come out of retirement for this movie. And it's like, that was a total waste. Scorsese did a lot better in The Irishman. Anyway, terrible movie. Don't watch it. Also, Eddie Redmayne's in it. Like, there's so many.
Michael's watching it.
Oh my God, he's terrible. He plays his son and he's bad. But I don't really get the movie. Like I understand what they were trying to do back in 2005, but it dates it so hard, and it's just like y'all are stupid. So let's see. Then we got some animes. Watch the new one called Kaiju Number 8.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be really good.
It is really good. The animation, the humor is good. The music is really good in this too. One Republic does the closer for it, which is really funny.
It's too late to apologize.
I know. I was just like, like listening to this. I'm like, is this freaking One Republic? And then I Shazammed and I'm like, holy crap, it is. How'd they do that?
How'd they
So
get
it's like-
that gig?
Well, I know it's like Franz Ferdinand all over again when I watch Cyberpunk. I'm like, is that Franz Ferdinand? And so, but it's really good so far. I hate that I have to wait every week for it to come through, but it's really good. First 3 episodes are out.
You were just saying, praising that about Shogun. You were like, it's the way to watch it. What happened to that?
Yeah, I know. It's
What
stupid
happened?
though, and I'm impatient because I've been ruined on streaming services.
It's the future, man. That's what they're all going to now.
I will say that they are how do you say it?
Simulcasting?
simulcasting it in dub as well, which I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
that's
nice.
kind of cool. And the voice acting's really good on it. And then I watched another anime called Gate. It's this weird hypothetical thing if the military went into like our modern military went into a fantasy world and they basically just wreck everything. They wreck
House?
See that dragon?
yes. They kill a dragon with helicopters.
They
and jet
wasted
planes.
Lee Pace.
Oh no! Lee!
It's really good. The thing is though, there's like this weird. I know it's an anime, but there's this weird thing about the Japanese government being the most what do you call it? The most moral government. I'm just like, okay. I mean, that's a perspective on it. And then they have the Japanese special forces taking out the U.S. special forces, and I was like, no, that would never happen. Not only that, but like this gate appears in Japan. And the Japanese are like, well, we just need to control this. We'll control it. Nobody else gets it. I'm like, no, the Americans be like, we got it. We own you, basically. But besides that, it's actually really funny. The main character is very I don't want to say he's relatable, but he's this weeb who basically gets his wish to go into a fantasy land. And so him and his like one of his corporals, they're like, well, it's time we met a new village. You think there'll be cat girls? Oh God, I hope so. It's very funny. And then I watched Trigun Stampede. That was pretty awesome.
It's good, but it doesn't hit as
It's
well as the original.
So it's very different from the original, but
Yeah.
I understand what they're trying to do because they're kind of trying to keep it more in line with the manga. Because the production of the original Trigun is crazy. Like he only wrote in Berserk, the Black Swordsman intro arc, not even the golden arc, but that first intro.
Yeah.
That's basically all he had written for Trigun. And then he got signed on to do the anime. He's like, well, here's my production notes for what I think is going to happen, because his like publisher also went out of business. He's like, here, hopefully with the money you give me, I can finish my manga. And so nothing lined up. It's very interesting, but
I do like Vash's updated look though.
his look is awesome. And I love, dude, Knives
Yeah.
is freaking cool.
Dude, how does Johnny Young Bosch sound younger now than when he played
does sound
Vash back in
younger. His voice is higher, I swear. But yeah, it's really good. And apparently they're doing Maximum next, which is the continuation of it. And I liked how the series, or the series, but the season ended. It was very interesting. It's like the post, or the pre-July incident, which we all kind of heard about in the original one. Now we kind of got to see that, which is really cool. And then what else?
When are they bringing back Outlaw Star?
Never.
Probably on Netflix live action.
Did you guys hear about that Parasite movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting some good reviews, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. I don't know. With Netflix adaptations, it's
You never know.
50-50.
yeah, you
Could be Death Note.
That's Michael's favorite adaptation.
True.
He loves
Oh,
Willem
God,
Dafoe as
yeah.
Ryuk.
Well, yeah, but that's the only mentionable part about that movie.
goes to sleep watching it every night. So
Michael, put down the Death Note.
I will kill all of you.
you don't know my true name. You don't know my full name.
I know where you live.
Damn it. And then it was Passover this week, so I watched Prince of Egypt and the Ten Commandments. Fantastic movies. Prince of Egypt is just, oh God, so good. Like, especially the plague song is just,
Oh my god, that plague song's good.
it hits. It really hits.
I used to listen to that at the gym.
You who I call brother. But yeah. And Ten Commandments is awesome. Charlton Heston's freaking cool. And I like Yul Brynner and his abs. He's like, yeah. But besides that, I did have a note on here. Okay, so the ATF, the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. They posted a photo this week about making sure that people get their fire suppression systems updated, and everybody was starting to post the Waco photos of it on fire. It's like like if you go into the feed, that's all the reposts were was the Waco fire, and I'm like, oh my god.
Wendigo in one of the main posts.
Well, like him, Brandon Herrera, Donut Operator, they're all just like, I won't say roasting the ATM, but I was just like, man, someone did not read the room. It's like ATF going like, protect your dog. It's like, I think that's all I had besides Japan trip. Oh, there's that. But and this week I had to do a lot of outside work on some stuff for an HOA, like projects and stuff. And I was miserable. I busted my ankle, and I had a lung infection, which sucked. That's why I didn't go boxing, Michael. I couldn't breathe.
You don't need to breathe in boxing.
Yeah, you're right. Just hold your breath.
Or an ankle.
Yeah. And so I was just miserable. I was outside, and it was windy all week. I was in a lot of pain and discomfort, and also finals are coming down. And so I'm not proud of it, but I talked about it with Jared, and I didn't know these were a thing.
We listened to the Taylor Swift album.
No, God.
You
no.
heard the horns in the sky.
That's just what the first disc of the Taylor Swift is, just all horns.
Oh, did you watch Meat Cannon's video?
Yes, I did.
Oh boy.
Oh
It's
my
great.
god.
It's so good. Sorry.
Why is she so freaking I hate her so much.
Sorry. I should have put that in my notes.
I didn't know she came from money. I thought she was just some
country
self-made.
girl?
Yeah.
Nope. It's like
I hated her even more.
What's
She's
that,
like talking about being a tortured artist.
You don't know how much I've struggled, and he pulls up her childhood home. He's like, "What the hell?"
He's like,
That
"You
is a
don't know."
mansion.
He's like, "You don't know. The dad could have been smacking her, telling her to play better, but."
Well, he's like, oh, maybe she's coming up with that album. And then his assistant's like, if she was going to write that, she would have already wrote that by now.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I did, because I kind of discussed it with Jared, I didn't know these were a thing. I didn't know what light novels were.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you know what they are. I didn't know. I was like, Jared, what are light novels? He's like, oh, they're like manga, but in book form. So I listened to 3 light novels when I was doing this handyman work, and I was like, I know. I'm like, I'm kind of
Railgun, Magical Index, and the other one. I don't remember the other.
But I had a lot of fun. I was like, because it's an
Accelerator.
It's an anime I've watched, but I was having fun just going through book form. It's like when the movie had a novelization. Do you remember those? Those were a big thing. I liked reading those when I was a kid. So this is kind of like that. So it was fun, but that's all I did.
The Godfather.
No, Joseph. Came first.
I don't know about that.
Passion of the Christ.
Anyway, that's it.
We still are watching Batman, the animated series. We're almost done with the first season.
Dang.
Batman
There's
had
a lot of
guns
that
in his
show.
house. Batman had guns in his house.
How many episodes was that first season?
Jack Snyder was
65.
right, Joseph.
Oh my god.
We're trying to finish. We're trying to do the like DCAU, I guess it's called, animated universe. So the plan is to watch the first season, then watch Mask of the Phantasm, then watch the second season, and then go to Superman.
Mask of the Phantasm, man, that is gold.
It's gold.
It's gold.
They don't have it on HBO Max.
Alex has it on Blu-ray.
Nice. I gotta go find it on
Sure.
Blu-ray.
Come watch over here.
It's a good purchase.
Such a good
All
one.
right. Any last words for the podcast before it turns into a pizza podcast? And
Let's go Swifties.
Dude, does she really have a song called Fortnite?
Yeah, but it's like not about the game. It's like the Fortnite, like the time.
Oh,
though.
sure.
I
It's not
think.
about the
The only one I listened to was the Post Malone song because I like Post Malone, but I didn't really. The song was okay. That's the only one I
What's
listened
that?
30 songs from Taylor Swift. Are you kidding me?
30
What's
songs.
to. That's a lot.
What's that one that Meat Canyon was not talking about? He was watching that video of that woman. She's like, Peter. The song Peter on here is just emotionally like destroys me. He's like, yeah, Peter. No, Peter just emotionally destroys every bitch he comes across.
Oh my! I'm just thinking Peter Griffin. Griffiths?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Griffin.
I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
heard. Anyway,
Now
I shouldn't have said Swifties.
We've lost all our female followers. Dang it.
Darn, we lost the one follower. That's it. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's it.
All I got.
That's all we got. So
Wrap it up.
please subscribe to the channel, throw us some likes, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Record.